Joining me now on Pulse of the Maggots, making another return to the show from Sydney, Australia. Please welcome up 10,000 Crows, George Mackenzie, my friend. Welcome back to the show. How you doing, dude?
I'm doing so good, man. Thank you so much for having us. Always a pleasure. We love what you guys are doing for the metal community and new bands like us. So, yeah, absolute pleasure to be here.
Yeah, fuck yeah. If you can believe, first of all, thank you for the very kind words. Just doing what we can, just love music and want to get it into as many ears as possible. If you can believe it, my dude, it was almost a year ago when you were first on this channel getting out the word from your Macabre Arcana series. It's like both feels like 1,000 years ago and also yesterday at the same time. And what we were talking about that last time was that you guys hadn't been a band for too super long. We're already started to get a bunch of traction, and we were in the middle of getting that your project up off the ground. So now 2 years almost from starting your band and getting out there. I'm sure this has exceeded your expectations, so I won't even ask whether it has or not. But how has it exceeded your expectations, and what have you learned about yourself in these 2 years doing this process?
Oh, great question. Great question. I think my expectation was I wanted 1,000 views on YouTube. I was like, if we
Yeah,
get
I
a
remember
thousand
that.
views on YouTube,
Yeah.
I'm gravy, as we like to say in Australia. But we're just about to hit. I think we just hit 50,000 monthly listeners on Spotify. You know, the latest single Cathedral has gone incredibly well. So yeah, it's actually mind blowing, and people messaging us like the goodwill towards the band is insane. So it's quite overwhelming. But what have I learned about myself? I've learned that I love metal and I'm like just a metal tragic. I'm a bit older. I've been in bands since I was 16 years old, in, various forms and whatnot. And this it's just something I'm addicted to. Like I can't get enough. I'm always listening to the latest bands. We're always writing music. I love just doing this project and it's part of my therapy. I have a normal 9 to 5 job,
Mm.
which helps pay for all our stuff. But this is the stuff I really love and kind of keeps me engaged in living. It's sort of philosophical in a way.
Yeah, and I think that comes through in the music as well, both visually and audioly. Like audibly, I guess is the word.
Yeah, yeah.
Because you mentioned how you guys are inspired by horror, and you do the film thing with that as well. And I think that that's so important to be able to just like, even if you have a 9 to 5 to pay the bills and everything like that, being able to put all of yourself into that for this for a project, because like look at where it brung you so far, man.
Yeah, I mean, we do everything DIY, other than the mixing and mastering. I do the videos, I do the recording. Geordie writes all the songs, Geordie writes all the lyrics. So we're super low to the ground, or like we're not just farming it out to people like, let's hire this guy to do a video, let's do that. It's all very personal to
Yeah.
us and it's all very authentic. So if you don't like our shit, like, you know, sometimes people, we get some comments here and there and it's like, oh, the lyrics suck. And you're going to get those when you put yourself out there. But really, it's not something that affects me, because if you don't like it, I don't like bands. There's some
Mhm.
bands that I don't like, and I'm like, oh, that's fine. I'm not going to go out there and type it, but it's authentic, it's real, and if you don't like it, you don't like it. And if you love it, you love it, and that's it. It's just quite a simple sort of approach, but it's all about gut instinct and what feels right to us.
Yeah, 100%, and I echo that as well. I've always been one confused as to people putting a lot of effort towards shit that they hate rather than shit that they like really love, right? But it happens, right? And that, like you said, when you put yourself out there, that's going to happen. But it is what it is. So let's talk about the new single, actually. So we just listened to Cathedral. Tell us about like what the song means, because I know that you guys like to weave in all sorts of like storylines and like undertones
Yeah.
and stuff like that. So let's talk about the song. Like, how did that come through, and what do you think it means to you?
Yeah, so I mean, musically first, Geordie wrote the demo, and it started out with that sort of under oath, like, "Da-na-na-na," and I was like, immediately, I was like, this is a great demo, like, this is going to be a single for sure. And then as the song, so after I guess going back, after we finished our last EP, we've been working on the next batch of songs, and we can't really reveal exactly what that is now, but this first song is part of an ensemble of songs,
Hmm.
and it basically introduces this character called the Lord of Crows, which you might have heard at the end of the breakdown there, Bow Down to the Lord of Crows. And this character sort of represents a changing of the tides, or um, a movement away from religious practices or that type of thing. And we've got this interesting storyline that we've got out in the next sort of batch of songs, and it'll gradually get revealed, where we wanted to kind of continue the tarot card witchy element
Yeah.
from the tarot card series into this. So there's some witchy elements as the song, as we go along and more of the story gets revealed and whatnot. But this is the first taste of that, and I think our first dabble into that sort of religion is quite a topic in metal. Like, a lot of people cover it, and I think this is going to be our sort of take on it. And I'm super excited about where this is going. As you said, we love stories, we love concept album. Coed in Cambria is one of our favorites. I know it's a completely different genre, but
No, but it
that
makes
rich
sense.
tapestry, yeah, that rich tapestry of lyrics and music working together. We're really excited about this. So this whole story is going to unfold as we release these singles and more information gets teased out. But I definitely think, we went also sonically from the song's perspective, we went down tuning. We went from drop G to drop F on a 7 string. So I think it's just sounding a bit more meaty. We got a new guitar, so the guitar turns a bit more awesome. So I think overall, like, if you listen back to it versus the old stuff, like, the
Yeah.
mix is a bit more crisp, it's a bit more heavy. I just think it's working. We're just sort of figuring ourselves out a bit more, and more. Every release we learn something, and I think we improve a little bit.
Yeah, and that's something that we've talked about before, because I remember mentioning to you previously that, because I think with the first time that we talked, there may have been like 3 or 4 of the tarot card songs out at that point, and
Yeah,
I mentioned that even from the first one to where you went through, like, you could hear a difference in that. And we chatted about how basically exactly what you said even back then, as far as like you started this thing and this were the first couple of songs that you guys had made, and now like that's twofold on that, I guess, is just being able to find your sound. So I have a question about the Lord of the Crows in a second, but you
yeah,
touched
yeah.
on something when, because you said that you were inspired by Coheed, which is obviously not again audibly. Like, why the fuck can't I say that word, George? I don't know. But like, obviously,
Audio
from,
ugly.
yeah, their lore and how expansive they are and how they weave stories together and everything like that. I was curious, because you guys aren't just musical medium. You also do artwork. You also do videos and everything like that as well. What other types of like media do you draw inspiration from, and how do you think that comes across in your music, whether it is visually, musically, whatever it is?
I mean, that's a great question, man. I definitely think music and film are top of the list. I'm not really a gamer, but Geordie is a massive gamer, and he loves the series Bloodborne.
Mm,
It's by the same people who did Elden Ring, which is really popular right now. That same studio.
yeah.
There's actually quite a lot of stuff we draw from that. I can't specifically tell you about those characters and whatnot, but Geordie has linked me videos and shown me a lot of character designs, and aesthetically it really fits with our vibe. So big time that. And then one thing that I really loved recently was this podcast called Baroska.
Mm,
It's like a horror. It's kind of like one of those old radio plays, like they did the War of the Worlds, like that
okay.
HG Wells thing, but um it was actually from a copy pasta in Reddit, where it's like somebody made this like horror story and they've turned it into a podcast. Anyway, it was freaking amazing. And it's like, sound design, and then, the characters, and then music. Like, it was quite an audio experience, and really scary, really fucking scary. And that's what I want. I'm so desensitized. If I get scared, I'm like, this is cool. This is effective. So I think those are two outside of, film and music influences that definitely have weaved their way into 10,000 Crows.
What was the name of the podcast again? I want to make sure that I want to check it out.
It's called Borosca, Borasca.
Ding! You got it.
Borosca, I think. Is that right?
Yeah, no, Borrasca. Borosca?
Borosca. I think Q Code. Q Code is
Yes.
the production company. And
There
they
you
do,
go.
this is like their thing. They do, yeah, but it's so sick. Like, because an audio book is just like, they just the voice and it's going through and sometimes they add some sound designs, but this was really, really effective and like
Yeah.
really well done. Foley. I was just because I'm an audio guy. I love sort of like delving into these worlds, and it was insane, really cool.
Yeah, I just want to make sure that whether live or on demand, people could go find that if they're
Yeah,
interested in it.
definitely.
Slight tangent, because we can't do an interview without a tangent. Speaking of like audiobooks and stuff like that, when I was in New York a couple of weeks ago, I saw on the subway that they were actually advertising audiobooks through like Amazon and Audible and stuff like that. Like, I thought it was a TV show, and then it was like an audiobook by starring. So like they're starting to do that shit as well. So like a
Yeah,
whole new
yeah.
world of audio media right now.
Yeah, and even like Dave Grohl, the singer of Foo Fighters, just released his book. R.I.P. Taylor Hawkins. Very sad what happened there, but
100%.
I digress. He read the book, so it's actually Dave Grohl reading in the Audible. It's actually him reading the book, and I think that's cool. It's like more authentic. It seems
Yeah.
more real rather than some other bloke or somebody else. I don't know. It's cool. I like where it's heading.
Um, so circling back to the Lord of Crows, I know that you can't really tell us too much, right? As we're, more will be revealed, and you guys want to keep a lot of stuff close to the vest. But looking at like your Instagram, where you have the album art or the art for the Lord of Crows and everything like that, do you think that that's something that is going to be like woven into the fabric of 10,000 Crows? I know it might be a little bit too early to say, but is that something where you feel like you have a whole lot of possibilities that you could do with, or is this something that you only want to one and done it?
Yeah, we got a lot of plans, man. We
Okay.
got like I wish I could tell you all this stuff we're
Of course.
cooking up, but yeah, the Lord of Crows. I think we've I think we've got a really solid direction for the next few releases for this band, and I don't want to overpromise anything, but I think you will see this character pop up for a while, and yeah, it's like it's going to be really interesting to see where it goes. In terms of the next sort of batch of work, I think we're finishing off a few more singles now, but there might be a small gap now, but basically we kind of want to keep going with some more singles, and then a bigger release will come towards the end of the year. So I think we're gonna just keep the sort of drip feeding the singles thing out, each with
Mhm.
its own artwork, revealing a character, um, and yeah, as time goes on, more will get revealed as we go.
Yeah, that's great. And I remember as well to our previous conversation talking about how you guys were like, we're just going to do singles for right now and see where that takes us. And I think that's a smart play too, given, how long the band's been around and how much it's been working for you as well. So just whether a full release is coming or drip dropping the singles too. I mean, just go with what brought you here, I guess.
Yeah, I guess I have some life goals that I want to tick off. So we're sort of trying that sort of hybrid approach where we're going to do the singles, but it all feeds into something bigger. Because in this day and age, like, if you do a 12-song album or something and just like do a single and then release it, like one of my friends recently released an EP and they released a single and all 5 songs in one day. And I was like, guys, like that it's all done now, like it's all out there, like there's so much work, so much detail that has to go into these releases, like
Hmm.
to have just to give it the time and allow people to listen to it, I think is so critical these days, like
Yeah,
Mm.
I was pointing at you because you literally took my next question right out of my mouth when you were saying that. Because going back to our first question about, how it exceeded your expectations and what you've learned about yourself and everything like that. Obviously, you got those 1,000 views on YouTube, you got the 1,000 streams. So my question was, and you kind of answered it, but I guess we can go in a little bit more detail. Is like, how have your goals and expectation changed as you've progressed with this project?
Interesting question. I think we've always got in the back of our mind playing live. For those who don't know, 10,000 Crows is just a two-piece right now. It's myself and Jordan. We work very closely with our producer, Declan White, who does drums and the mixing and mastering. But really, it's Jordy and my baby. And, I can see us expanding to play live in the future. Like, I can imagine 10,000 Crows, like some crazy motherfuckers up on stage with the hoods going nuts. Like, that'd be sick.
Yeah.
I haven't played live in so long. It must have been 2016, 2015 last time I played. We
Wow.
had my old band supported Dance Gavin Dance. I think that was the last show we did. That was like when Tillian just joined the band a long time ago. So, um, you know, I see us, as the band keeps growing and people start to recognize us more and more, I can see us transitioning into that next phase. So that's a big goal for us. Whether or not it happens, it's not really like ultimately releasing music is our main goal. Like if we never played live and we could just keep releasing albums forever, that would be great. But I get this feeling like there might be a level of regret when I'm older, like, oh, you didn't quite go for it, man. Like, I think there is gonna like I don't know. It, we've had so many bands over the years that we've released, and it's just nothing's ever happened. And this one, like, things are happening, and each single, like with Cathedral, I was terrified when we didn't have the tarot card gimmick. I was like, people not going to listen to us. We're not going to get any playlists. We're not going to get any uplift. Not Fest aren't going to want to have a chat with us, and it's actually our biggest release yet. And I'm like, wow, okay, I feel like the snowball is moving and we're going down the mountain. So I think bigger videos. I'd love to work with some bigger directors. Like, there's quite a lot of burden on me to make the videos. I'd love to this guy's done a horror film and he's going to do or this girl's done this sci-fi thing, and like I think there's just so many options, and we actually are for the next single working with an animator. That's one tease I can
Okay.
tell you
Yeah.
is we're working with this animator for the next one, and that's really exciting. So my hands are off the wheel for that one. So I think
No,
it's just like expanding the sound, working with artists, working. We love working with artists. We love collaborating. So yeah, it's just keep the ball rolling, as it were. Keep the ball rolling and keep finding more opportunities.
and I love the mix of ambition and also just remembering kind of why you did it in the first place, right? Where you're like, yeah, it's going to be great to just release music because that's what we want to do. But because we're having, this much focus and attention and success, we want to up it even more. I think that that's really fucking cool.
Yeah, man, like, we're just regular dudes and we didn't
Yeah,
really
me too.
expect to get this sort of uplift. Yeah, and it's fascinating to me. It's a fascinating experience, and it's very rewarding.
Yeah.
And the metal community fucking rules, like the metal community, like I work in sort of digital marketing and it's like very tech sort of stuff, and like it's there's sort of a veneer on everyone. Like I
Mm-hmm.
don't want to sort of talk out of turn here, but when I speak to metal people, I'm at a gig and we're just shooting the shit, or I was walking down the road the other day and the guy was wearing an Oceano shirt, and I was like, Oceano, and he looked at me and we were like, yo, it's just like there's just like this thing that is kind of hard to describe, but I just love it, man, and it's just super authentic and real and pumps me up.
Yeah, 100%. And it's been great from this side, just being able to, like, a year later, talk to you from when you were just, like, rolling out this project that you didn't know how it was going to do. And now you have all these ideas of places that you want to go. And I'm sure it'll be great going forward. So I know that you're keeping things close to the vest. I know you can't really tell us a whole lot. But in your vague, non committal, non answery way, what is the thing that you are looking forward to the most over the next, let's say, like the next year? What's the thing that you're looking forward to the most?
I think 2022 is going to be a lot more 10,000 Crows material. I think in terms of this batch of songs that we're doing right now, we want to get it all out this year. So, you know, as I mentioned, maybe there'll be a little bit longer length between Cathedral and the next single, but after that, we kind of want to go boom, 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 and get a lot of material out there, and yeah, just keep the ball rolling. I think we got some really, really impressive songs. Like I'm really, really impressed with what Geordie has done in terms of the guitar work and demoing, like continuing to push the sound. So, there's quite a, in terms of sound as well, there's a bit more death metally vibe on like the next single. It's almost like on a neck rot, Cannibal Corpse vibe. So, and then
Okay.
the one after that is sort of like almost like got a post-hardcore, more melodic vibe. So there's a lot of different shit coming out, and I'm super excited to see how people respond to it because I think we are experimenting a little bit more.
Fuck yeah, dude! I love it. We just had Harriet on a little bit earlier, right? And they're one of those bands too that are just like fuck genres, fuck walls, fuck whatever. We're just gonna be doing what we want to do. So the fact that you
Yeah.
used neck rot and then post metal and then melodic in there, just like yeah, done, ready to go. Let's do it.
What is that? Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
man. George, it has been so great talking with you again. I'm sure as these stay in touch as you release these out, so that we'll play them on the show for sure. It's obviously not the
Thank
first
you.
time we've played you, not the last, and it's been like I mean it, man. It's been great to watch you guys grow and to see what you've been doing over the past like year and a half and everything like that. So good luck with everything in the future. I can't wait to see what 10,000 Crows has coming up next.
Thank you so much, man. And as I said at the beginning of the show, kudos to you guys. Thanks for giving a shit. A lot of, we send out press releases for every release to a lot of publications, and a lot of people don't come back to us, and you guys come back to us every time and give a shit about the local bands. And I think that's so important. I think that's so important. So much love, appreciate you and what you're contributing back to the scene.
Fuck yeah. Absolutely, man. Hey, we will see you around the bend. Thank you so much for sharing your time with us today. Good luck going forward, and we'll see you again, dude.